Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. It's been a while since we went live, and I just got out of my local hobby shop, Great Hobbies, and bought a couple things and thought we could go over what I picked up today. Gonna give it a minute to see if anyone joins in. It's been a while since I did a live. We'll see if we get any engagement. It's 3 p.m. Eastern on a Saturday, I believe. And right now we have 0 watching, so we'll just give it a couple of minutes and see if anyone joins in. Not a whole lot of stuff happened, but I just picked up a couple of things that I need for other vehicles. And what's happening is there's an on-road race tomorrow I'm likely going to. Some of the off-road racing is starting up very soon, as well as the crawling items and crawling events are going to start up very soon as well. So basically I need parts and equipment for all that stuff if I'm going to do it all, because I can't seem to get a niche going. I like to do it all, so it costs me a lot because I do it all. So I'm going to dive right into it. There's some things that are surprising to me that in all of my years in the hobby, I don't actually have an X-Acto style knife. I've lately, for the past 10 years or so, anytime I had to cut something, I would end up using kind of a box knife or scissors. So as part of my orders from 1UP Racing, I got some really nice 1UP Racing blades, and I needed a handle to use them in. So I just got this set, the Excel set, pretty cheap. It was $8 or something, with 5 blades. Very good for everything, little X-Acto knife. And then while I was looking at that shelf of knives, I noticed another tool, which this is actually one of my favorite tools in my RC arsenal, is a hemostat. The reason why these are so awesome is because they are like a really tiny needle nose style clamping end, because on this side you have a scissor style attachment, but then you have teeth. So you can have it, you can just clamp onto it and hold it there. I guess that's the definition of what a hemostat does. I have a straight hemostat with rubber coated handles. This one has an angle to it, so just picked that up as well. Figured there's a couple of instances where sometimes you want to try and route a really weird wire around a little corner or something, and the curve can be helpful for that. So if you don't have a hemostat set in your RC tools, pick one up, either from your local hobby shop or Amazon or any kind of arts and crafts store. It is one of my most useful tools, and one of the things that makes my life so much easier when you drop a screw, and then you can just get in there with your little hemostat and pick it out instead of having to shake it out or lose it or do anything weird. Most of the time needle nose pliers are too big for RC stuff, so hemostat works very well for that. Then I mentioned that tomorrow there's an on-road race happening in the Ottawa area. It's in Smiths Falls, so if you're interested, look up the Ottawa On-Road Racing Club on Facebook, and the details will be there. But it'll be a race in Smiths Falls tomorrow on Sunday. And there's a couple things that I have not touched my on-road cars in 2+ years. I have not gone racing on-road on carpet since this whole, the lockdowns and the pandemic stuff started. So I still have all the same cars. They're all Tamiya based. I have a TT01 based man truck. I have a TA07 Pro based USGT platform, and I have a TRF 419 based 17.5 stock sedan. Now, the man truck racing has kind of fallen off lately, but a lot of people are doing what's called TTGT. So that's if you buy a Tamiya TT01, TT02 based platform with a Tamiya scale type body on, not scale, but a Tamiya realistic body. It has to be a realistic style body for TTGT, and you can race those. No upgrades allowed. So you're on the friction shocks, you're running the silver can motor, the stock speed control brush system, but you do need to change the tires. I'm in the Ottawa area. The tires that are spec tire for USGT and TTGT, if you're in this area, and this is fairly standard across many genres or many locations, is the Gravity RC USGT tire. Now these are very convenient because they're pre-mount, pre-glued, totally done. All you have to do is kind of bolt them up and sauce them, and you can burn them in a little bit on carpet. They're not supposed to do any prep or anything weird to these, but there's not much you have to do. They come in white or black, and this is the spec tire you need for a USGT or TTGT style racing. So I had one set of these on my USGT car that were in good shape. I needed another set if I want to convert my truck from truck class over to TTGT class. All I have to do is change the tires, change the body, and then adjust the body post a bit so that I can put a sedan type body on that platform instead of the truck. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because as far as I know, the truck racing is not happening locally anymore. It's still happening at some of the national type events. The Canadian On-Road Nationals just happened at the end of March, and there was truck racing in that. So that's good. So anyway, it's a cool platform actually. It's one of the cheapest ways you can get into racing. If there's an on-road venue around you, you can buy the truck, or you can buy a TT01 or a TT02, and then all you have to do is kind of put in your servo, put in a radio system, and then get it kind of operational. It's one of the cheaper ways to get into racing. It's still not cheap. You're probably still going to be $500 all in by the time you get it built out, with the tires you need, the radio you need, a transponder. Unfortunately, transponders are still very expensive for what they are, but at least you can probably get one and then move them between cars if you really are on a tight budget. So anyway, tires. Also just kind of looking over my on-road cars this morning, and I ended up having to take out a bunch of parts out of them over the past couple of years. One of the big things being cooling. So on my off-road cars, a lot of them have active cooling on the speed control and on the motor, and when you're off-road racing, they take a lot of hard hits, a lot of tumbles, and you end up breaking the blade fans off, or burning out the fans altogether over time. And so I just saw this was a $10 fan that had a nice kind of aluminum chassis to it, and it's in a blue color that'll work nicely with my Tamiya stuff. So I'll probably put this on my TA07 Pro as the motor cooling fan, because I took the fan out of that platform, so I needed a fan on that system again. And then some crawl stuff. I have recently bought a new crawler. I'm not disclosing what that is yet, because I'll make videos about that later, but there's been some good sales lately. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm not sure why this is now happening. I think they're trying to generate sales, but most Horizon Hobby based hobby shops are honoring the Horizon Hobby flash sales or weekly sales. So over the past month or so, we've had a lot of random and pretty good sales happen on Losi stuff, Arma stuff, Axial stuff fairly recently. As of today, April 3rd, all of those sales are now over, but I would imagine that they're going to see how well did those do over the past month, and if they start doing that stuff again, I would love that. I mean, sales are great, especially with the way inflation is going. I've been in this hobby long enough where I see that what used to be a $400 car is now a $700 car in the past 5+ years. So anytime where you can save some money in a sale is a very good thing. So for crawling, my local RC track has an indoor crawl course set up, as well as over the next month or so is when the outdoor crawl tracks are going to get going again. And my crawler tires, I don't have a whole lot of them. Primarily, I've been using the Traxxas Canyon Trail tires, the 1.9 Canyon Trails, which after they get broken in or you do a couple of mods to them, and I haven't even really modded mine, they're just old. I've had them since my original TRX4. They get really soft and really nice, and they are a very capable tire. But they're bog standard, basic, ready to run crawler tire. They're nothing fancy. I saw these and I had never seen these before. I did a quick little Google in the store, and they came out kind of mid 2020, and I've never seen these before. J Concepts Landmine 1.9 tires, and these are a 1.9 inner diameter crawler tire. The outside diameter, they don't give the exact spec, but it is exactly the same size as a Canyon Trail or what comes on a SCX 10.3. So it's probably taller than 4.2. I'll take one out and show you. But it's in green compound, so it's in J Concepts Super Soft. I also wanted to buy a J Concepts tire because they're very good for racing. I use J-Concepts tires a lot in racing, and I compared the Pro line versus the RC four-wheel drive versus this, and out of all the tires that were in stock today, I thought this was the most useful and unique tire I'd ever seen. So I'm just going to pop one out so we can take a look at it. Mostly it's the way that the tread is really unique. This is what they call their landmine tire, and to me this kind of looks like a mix between like a BF Goodrich KO2 and a Hyrax. The difference is that it doesn't have siping, but it has these really neat little like edged blocks, and there's some bars in between the blocks as well, and there's these little angled features in the tread lug pattern. The compound is very soft, very nice. Also, it's a really nice looking tire when you see the edge. So you've got some nice grip along the sidewall area. It's not exactly it's not a scale licensed tire by any means, but one of the things is that you get no extra points for buying a licensed tire. If you go to a crawl event that is like there's a series coming up called Call to Crawl, and you're going to get scale points for functional items. So if you have a functional door, hood scoop, or a driver and all that stuff, any scale items that are functional, you get extra points for up to a certain amount for a scored event. But they don't care if you have a licensed tire or not. At least I'm pretty sure they don't. So there's no downside, in my opinion, to going to an unlicensed tire, and then it gives the manufacturer the freedom to do something totally unique. So I'm excited to try these tires out. I will be trying them during competitions and just out in the wild. And I thought I saw something interesting. Oh, no, they're not like that. In the press materials, only fake Class 0 requires... Oh, I lost it. Only fake Class 0 requires licenses, right? The other ones just need it to be realistic. For Class 0... I'm not fully up to date on this, but I thought Class 0 was like a 1.55 tire, which means that the inner is a 1.55 versus a 1.9. And I do not think that it has to be a licensed tire. It just can't be, it can't be this tall of a tire. Even if this was a 1.55 center, I don't believe for Class 0 you can have this tall of a tire. Even for Class 1, you can't have this tall of a tire. This is probably considered a Class 2, I think. Again, check your rules because I'm not fully up to date on them. The foam is different than I expected. This is the foam I just took out of this tire. It's a basic open cell foam. It doesn't look like I saw on their website. On their website, it kind of had this weird like squiggle pattern to it. I thought it was going to be more of a not a texture, but a shape, more of a different shape than this. But I will be doing I will be putting these on beadlock rims, and I'll be doing the GCM racing trick where he suggests that you trim off an angle cut around the inside of both of these when you put it in. Then when you're fighting to beadlock it in, you're not fighting the foam. The foam isn't going to be getting into the beadlock area, so you can just trim back the inside of these foams. That's all I'm going to do. This is a kind of a basic foam. There's certainly much better foams you can get. Two-stage foams, closed cell, open cell. I think the two cells are actually open cell and then a closed cell ring around the outside. I'm not that pro of a crawler to know or to have even tried a two-stage foam. So I'll be using these foams that it came with, but I'll be doing the little trick of just doing a quick trim when I mount them up to wheels and tires and going from there. And so I bought a full set of those, obviously. I bought 4 because you kind of have to. And so yeah, that was my haul from the hobby shop today. Just some random stuff. I have some bigger ticket items that I have purchased that you have not seen yet, and I have been procrastinating on my channel. Certainly just between time and motivation and money to get all this stuff put together, I've been backing off a little bit. But now that the weather's getting nicer, we're getting a little bit out of the winter blues here, I want to try and get back out there and start doing some more things. So I'm going to try and go to that on-road race tomorrow, and I'm going to be prepping my cars tonight for that. And I've been wanting to try those crazy crawler foams. I think they're called from Toothy Foams. Very cool. I've never heard of those, but they're probably very good. Probably any aftermarket foam you buy is going to be better than what just came in this tire. But the thing that I do like is that this will be by far my softest tire, my softest crawler tire I've ever had, and I will be seeing what this is like. And mostly the reason I want to get a better tire and a slightly bigger tire is because the new crawler that I bought is a straight axle. We'll just leave it at that. So I currently have 2 crawlers left in my fleet. I have a TRX4 portal truck, and I have a Gen 8, which has recently been broken. It's also a portal truck. I have the parts to fix the Gen 8, but I think I may end up fixing it and selling that, or just putting it off for a little bit, because I've now bought a new crawler to try. And if you haven't seen my last video, or maybe not the last one, but I have recently sold off some stuff. So I no longer have the Element RC Trail Walker, and I no longer have the TF2 Marlin crawler. So currently I only have two crawlers right now. Now I have a third one that I'll be getting set up. But yeah, that's where we're at. All right, that's pretty much it. Racing and stuff, like I said, on-road tomorrow. Off-road racing locally will probably be starting mid-April in my local vicinity, as well as if I was willing to travel throughout the winter, there was plenty going on. If you're in the Ottawa or Quebec area, CTSR, CTBR, and quite a few others. There's a Quebec Nation RC group, which should be able to point you to some of the racing venues that have been happening on the Quebec side, and they have some excellent facilities. It's one of the things that I regret not doing over the winter, is I had not made it to CTSR yet. That is a wonderful looking indoor facility that has off-road and on-road, so it does both. So I could go there if I can make a trip of that sometime. It's about 2 to 3 hours from where I live. But if I go there sometime, I should be able to do both things. Still need to hit up St. Roch. Yeah, I've heard it's amazing. I know, I want to go. And now finally the restrictions have lifted. So we shouldn't need to worry about vaccination passes or border stuff or masking even. I think things are pretty much back to normal. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. All right, guys. And then, like I said, for Electrosport RC Raceway, their racing should be starting middle of this month, and you can go there now and practice, and you can go and use their new crawler course and stuff. And there's a mask still required in Quebec until mid-April. Okay, good to know. All right. I don't really want to get into that, but I don't really mind masking, except for I mind it when I'm racing, because fogs up my glasses and stuff, and it hurts my performance as a racer. So I'm all for the safety of whatever, but I don't like it that it makes it a problem for my racing. So that's why I was hoping they had gone away. Anyway, over the next couple months they should. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new on here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. So thanks for tuning into this kind of unprompted live show, and we'll get out there tomorrow and see how we do on road. Okay, guys, thanks for watching.